Destiny, and welcome back to another episode or another installment of The Working Creative, the diary of the Working Creative. So on today's video, you guys will be getting ready with me. And I'm gonna tell you why in a second, because why you're getting ready with me is also related to what I'll be talking about in the video today. But I'll be styling this hair that I installed. If you want to watch the style and install of this hair, it's gonna be linked right there. I'm just gonna put it right there. So for today's installment of The Working Creative, I want to talk about, first of all, how I feel around the topic of calling myself a creative. At what point and who dawned me a creative? Did I just wake up one morning and I was like, oh, I'm a creative now? I don't know, it's kind of weird. And I also want to talk about taking solo trips or taking time away to really live that type of life that you want to live as a creative, if you are a working creative like myself. So if you're working creative, it's assumed that you have a constant paycheck, the lights are on at home, you get money, you know what I mean? And you can use this money to do things that you enjoy and take time away. So I am on a solo trip. I came to really just relax, take a break, be alone, and process the last 30 years of my life. Not gonna be able to do that all in 2 days or 3 days, but time is time. And it really got me inspired to make another installment and just kind of talk about taking that time off. I really encourage working creatives like myself to take time off. So right now I am cutting the excess lace. So one thing you'll notice about when you install your lace and you don't whether or not you glue it down doesn't matter, it's gonna come up, especially if you sew it down like me. I sew my wigs down. So you need to cut the excess that kind of stretches over time, is because the unit stretches in the front. So then it creates that white line, and then you can see your lace. And the last thing we ever want is for anybody to see your lace, because everybody knows it's a secret. It does. Just kidding. So I encourage creatives that work a 9 to 5, take 2 days, 3 days, go somewhere where you don't really know that many people, and don't plan anything. Just go, just be. Journal, think, get to know yourself, recenter, repurpose. That's literally what I've been doing since I've gotten here. Just spending time with myself, getting out of my shell a little bit. I normally don't go to places alone. I went to somewhere alone. You know what I mean? You need this time. It's so imperative to be able to get to know yourself. Because sometimes working a 9 to 5, thank God for it, thank God that your bills are paid, but you kind of lose self a little. You kind of lose sense of purpose. It's almost wait, am I supposed to work forever and my creative solutions will never hit the way it's supposed to? I'm going to literally be doing this. You start going into that tunnel of thought, I'm just gonna be stuck here forever. No, get me out. So you need these moments really by yourself to get away, go somewhere that's beautiful so it can inspire you, reignite you, and give you a new sense of purpose, a new sense of outlook, a different outlook, excuse me, and make you think a little differently. So I've been journaling, and I really feel okay, I'm getting my juice back. I feel all right, I know what my purpose is. I know what I'm doing. I know why I'm doing it. I feel gingered, if you will. Nigerians like to say ginger. encouraged, okay? I feel encouraged to do that which I was sent to do. So now that I have finished cutting off this excess lace, I'm about to bring out my baby hairs, because when you cut off the excess lace, it reduces your baby hairs. And I'm trying to have my baby hairs laid, okay? I didn't bring my rat tail comb, so this is all part of the not planning part, because I was just like, I need to go. I need to take a trip and I need to go. Yeah, I encourage creatives to for sure like take time off, especially if you're working creative, take that time off to spend time with yourself, really be with yourself, be with your thoughts. You know what I mean? Like recenter with yourself. So I'm gonna cut my baby hairs differently than I normally do, because I really need this hair to be laid for every single god that ever existed in the history of time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna part it out with my brush, like I just did, and then I'm gonna go in with my tweezer, and I'm gonna tweeze backwards for each spot of baby hair that I cut out. And then in this time that I've been here, I've been thinking like, what determined me as a creative? Like, what happened that I was like, oh, I'm gonna call myself a creative? And honestly, what are other people using as a measuring stick to call you a creative? Like, because if you think about it, like in the workplace, you're hired for a role, they give you a title, and your title is what you do. Like you went to school for something, that's what you do. That's the measuring stick. You've been trained on it, you know it. But with being a creative, it's a little different of a ball game, right? Because these are natural talents that you normally have, or that you've, worked on acquiring. So is it like you did a couple videos on something and now you're trained on it? Did you take like a cert program and now you're trained on it and now you're a creative? Anyways, for me, I feel like what's determining me calling myself a creative is based on me. Like what have I achieved? So for me, like when I first started with my creative journey, it was like with music, right? And back then my measurement of success was like, oh, people have to know that I exist. Gorilla Snot Glue going in for my edges. People have to know that I exist, and I really feel like, okay, like I'm an artist. Like I do music, I does this. And then took some time off, came back to it, and now that I'm doing music again, I feel like my new measuring stick is, as long as one person plays my music, that's good enough for me. So that right there is my measuring stick for calling myself a musical artist, like an artist. So I don't know, that got me to thinking. Comment down below what you feel like makes you a creative. Like what had to happen or what transpired that you were like, oh, okay, I'm a creative now. This is what I do. I'm gonna go ahead and do my baby hairs in silence because I need to focus. BRB.
Slow down, never seen anything so lovely. Now turn around and bless me with your beauty, oh cutie.
So after much effrontery, I finally figured out my baby hairs. Now I'm about to go on with my got to be. And because of how long it took me to do my baby hairs and like the technique I use this time, I'm gonna massage in my got to be instead of just like spraying it on top. because I needed to be seamless and kind of make up for the mess I had to make. Anyways, so now I think what I'm using as a determinant factor for me calling myself a creative is like literally doing it. Like, I record videos, I schedule out my content, I plan out what I want to talk about. I have multiple channels on YouTube where I literally create content of a varying nature. That is literally my niche. Like, other than working a 9-to-5, I am a creative. I'm definitely like a project manager, a technical writer, all the other things that I am professionally, but at the same token, I am in fact a creative. And what's helping me determine that is that I'm simply I'm creating stuff. And that, honestly, it's an accomplishment for me. It's enough for me, and I'm so proud of myself. And that's another thing that taking out this time really did for me, was like, it helped me recenter, like, what are my goals? What's going to make me feel like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm getting done what I want to be getting done. I'm achieving my goals. That's why I say, like, I would highly recommend, like, if you are a working 9-to-5 creative, make time to really get away from it all and kind of like recenter. And don't have a plan, because I feel like planning these types of situations really kind of messes up the vibe a little. Like, I had no plan. And honestly, I'm a project manager, so I'm a planner at heart. Like, everything gotta have its special time. Everything has to be scheduled. Milestones have to be met, you know what I mean? And that can really damper up things and limit you and limit your experiences. So now that I have finished fighting with my baby hairs, I'm about to curl my hair. I mean, I should straighten it. I'm not sure. Because last time I did curl it, I mean, on the video that's on my channel, I did curl it, but now I'm like, Aussie K, I don't know if I want to curl it. But it is nighttime, and honestly, guys, any time of the day is the best time for some curls, but the nighttime is really the best time for some curls, because it's sexy, it's alluring, it's big, it's just And honestly, like, with going somewhere, it doesn't even have to be somewhere like super fancy, just somewhere that you know that you're gonna be alone and it's safe and you're gonna be fine, you know? Like, trust me, you deserve it, sis. Think about it, all those reports you gotta do, all those meetings you have to go to, all the office politics. How dare you think you don't deserve a couple of days to yourself to focus on your true passions? Okay, so I'm going to finish curling my hair and then I will present the finished look. Thanks, bye.
But don't turn around, 'cause that pretty round thing looks good to me. Slow down, never seen anything so lovely. Now turn around and bless me with your beauty, oh cutie.
So am I the only one that sometimes, like, I leave my wrap on for too long and then my hair will literally get stuck to the wrap? Anyway, so this is the finished look. I usually don't pull out my curls yet, like pull my hands through it yet, until maybe like a couple of hours or an hour goes by, then I run my hands through it and it's just like big and luscious. I'm gonna take some pictures, so I'll for sure post that on my Instagram. And probably the thumbnail for this video. But anyways, in conclusion, take some time off to recenter, be by yourself, do the things that you want to do. If that means you're using that time to do some creative stuff, use that time to do that. But definitely figure out how to take some time off from your 9-to-5 schedule and reconnect with yourself. And then secondly, you determine what is your threshold of determining that you're creative. You determine that. Nobody else can determine that for you, only you. So if you decide that the fact that, like me, I create, therefore I'm creative, period. Don't argue with me, argue with yourselves. That's it, I'm a creative. Don't ask me no questions. So you determine that. Nobody else can determine that for you. Until next time, guys, stay positive and most importantly, stay creative, period.
I saw you walking down on Melrose. You look like an angel, straight out of heaven, girl. I was blown away by your sexiness. Now all I have to do is catch up to you. Slow down, I just wanna get to know you. But don't turn around, 'cause that pretty round thing looks good to me. Slow down, never seen anything so lovely. Now turn around and bless me with your beauty.